Airplanes hold many secrets that aren't immediately obvious. From unexplained marks on windows to the most germ-infested areas on board, there's much more than what you see. For instance, did you realize pilots never dine at the same time? Or that it's nearly impossible to get drunk on a flight? Join us on Fledgling Eagle as we reveal 20 astonishing facts about air travel. Make sure you stay tuned for number 15. Flight attendant rest areas. Ever wondered how flight attendants manage to stay so calm and energetic after long hours in the air? The answer lies in a feature of the aircraft that most passengers never notice: the crew rest areas. These small, private spaces, typically located in the upper or rear sections of the plane, allow crew members to take much-needed breaks. With simple amenities like bunk beds, pillows, blankets, and safety straps to secure them during turbulence, these areas provide a chance to recharge. Some airlines, like Singapore Airlines, even provide silk pillowcases for added comfort. So the next time you see a flight attendant serving drinks and wonder where they've gone, they might be recharging in one of these hidden spaces. Don't worry, they haven't vanished. They're just taking a quick rest to stay refreshed and ready to serve you. Crew rest is essential for flight safety, and when their break is over, the plane's phone system will alert them to get ready for their next shift. By the way, where are you watching this from? We'd love to know which city you're tuning in from. Drop a comment so we don't feel lonely. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more videos. Thanks and much love. Flight attendants can deliver your baby. Flight attendants are more than just friendly faces serving food and drinks. They're highly trained professionals with certifications that cover a range of emergency situations. The training to become a flight attendant includes mastering various technical and safety skills. According to flight attendant Ashtray, the practical exams cover everything from extinguishing fires using simulators to diagnosing medical conditions, splinting broken bones, stopping nosebleeds, performing CPR, and even delivering babies. While airlines typically have specific rules about pregnant passengers, often restricting those in their 36th to 38th week or within 30 days of their due date from flying, unexpected labor can still occur. In such cases, if no medical professionals are on board, flight attendants may need to step in as accidental midwives. They are required to assist in the delivery if an emergency landing isn't possible, and the flight must continue to its destination. By the way, if you're new to Fledgling Eagle, we're thrilled to have you with us. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss out on our future content. You can't open the doors while the plane is flying. You don't need to worry about someone trying to open the plane doors during a flight. Airplane doors can only be opened from the inside when the plane is on the ground, either during taxiing or after it's parked. Once the aircraft is in the air, and especially after reaching cruising altitude, usually above 10,000 meters, the pressure inside the cabin is so high that opening the door becomes physically impossible. No one could ever muster enough strength to open a locked door in those conditions. In fact, airplane doors are designed with safety in mind, and their structure ensures they cannot be opened mid-flight. The outside surface of the door is smaller than the inside, making it impossible to push the door open from the inside. So you can rest easy, it's entirely out of the question. Bathroom door is never truly locked. Although the airplane bathroom features a lock for passenger privacy, flight attendants have a way to quickly unlock the door from the outside. This unlock mechanism is usually hidden beneath the lavatory sign on the door, which can be flipped up. The reason behind this is safety. Flight attendants must be able to access the bathroom if needed, without having to remove the door or struggle with the lock. This becomes especially important if a passenger has a medical emergency or requires help while inside, or if a child is unable to unlock the door on their own. In fact, you can unlock the airplane bathroom door from the outside with just a fingernail. Simply slide it under the edge of the lavatory sign and turn the knob to unlock the door. You can't get drunk on an airplane. While alcohol is available on flights, the crew keeps a close eye on your consumption. Drinking too much at high altitudes can affect your body's systems, and the crew takes steps to ensure you don't overindulge. Plus, getting intoxicated on a plane can lead to legal issues. On a related note, while coffee or tea may seem like a good idea during a flight, you might want to think twice. Both beverages are made with tap water from the aircraft's water tanks, which are not always thoroughly cleaned. Studies from 2004 and 2012 found that over 10% of planes tested had water contaminated with high levels of coliform bacteria, which is usually associated with human waste. While coliform itself isn't usually dangerous, it can indicate the presence of harmful bacteria like E. coli. Though the EPA now requires airlines to test their water annually, many flight attendants recommend avoiding airplane water. If you need a caffeine fix, a can of Coke might be a safer bet. Ashtray in the bathroom. You might have noticed ashtrays in airplane bathrooms, even on newer planes, and wondered why they're still there despite smoking being banned on flights. The reason is that in the past it was common to install ashtrays as a precaution in case passengers decided to ignore the no smoking rule and smoke in the bathroom. The ashtray provides a safe place for passengers to dispose of cigarette butts, preventing the risk of a fire if they were simply thrown in the trash. So, if you're ever tempted to light up before your flight, be sure to properly extinguish your cigarette beforehand, as failing to do so could lead to a fire hazard. You should choose seats in the back. Although air travel is incredibly safe, the seat you choose can affect your safety in the rare event of an accident. According to a study by the UK's Civil Aviation Authority and the University of Greenwich, seats at the back of the plane are statistically safer. Passengers seated near the rear have a 40% higher chance of surviving a crash compared to those sitting at the front. Additionally, seats near emergency exits, typically between rows 2 and 5, allow for faster evacuation. However, those sitting further back and away from exits are at greater risk. In an emergency, it's crucial not to stop and retrieve personal items. Carrying bags can slow you down and hinder your ability to evacuate quickly. Focus on getting out as fast as possible, leaving everything behind to maximize your safety. The air on an airplane comes mostly from the engines. Ever wondered where the air comes from on a plane, especially when you're flying at high altitudes where the air is thin? The answer is, it mainly comes from the engines. As the plane ascends, the outside air becomes less dense, so the aircraft relies on its ventilation system to provide fresh air. This system draws air from outside, compresses it in stages, and then uses it in the engine's combustion process. Before it enters the cabin, the air is filtered and purified, which is one reason why the risk of catching a virus on a plane is relatively low. The system also heats, pressurizes, and circulates the air to remove bacteria and viruses, creating a safer and healthier environment for passengers. The continuous flow of clean, pressurized air helps maintain comfort, even at cruising altitudes. Small hole in the airplane window. If you've ever spotted a tiny hole at the bottom of your airplane window, you might have wondered about its purpose. It's actually a critical safety feature. As the plane ascends, the outside air pressure drops while the cabin pressure remains stable. Without a way to balance this pressure difference, the window could be at risk. Airplane windows are made up of 3 layers of acrylic, with the outer layer exposed to the outside environment. The middle layer has a small vent called a bleed hole that helps equalize the pressure between the inner and outer layers. This prevents stress on the window and keeps the inner layer from fogging up or frosting over. The innermost layer serves as the final safety barrier. So, the next time you're taking a photo during your flight, remember that small hole is working hard to keep your view clear and your safety secure. You can't die on an airplane. Did you know that technically you can't be declared dead on a plane? While flight crews are trained in basic first aid and CPR, they typically don't have the authority to officially declare someone deceased during a flight. According to the BBC, death can only be legally declared after the plane lands. If someone passes away during the flight, they usually remain in their seat, as most airplanes don't have a designated area for a body. In such situations, the deceased is often strapped into their seat with a seat belt, and if needed, covered with a blanket. This protocol ensures that death is officially recorded only once the aircraft has landed and proper authorities are involved. It's better to fly in the morning than at night. Studies show that morning flights are less likely to be delayed compared to afternoon or evening ones. Like road traffic, air traffic becomes more congested as the day goes on, with delays starting to build up around 8 a.m. and peaking at 6 p.m. Additionally, early morning flights tend to have less turbulence, since most thunderstorms and severe weather occur later in the day. What are your thoughts on this? Feel free to share your opinions. Your boarding pass holds a lot of hidden information. Your boarding pass reveals more than meets the eye. The first 2 letters before the flight number indicate the airline, and flights with odd numbers typically head south, while even-numbered flights go west. The 6-character code is your booking reference, which can sometimes reveal personal details like your age and payment information. If you see SSSS on your boarding pass, it means you've been flagged for extra TSA screening, which might involve additional checks of your carry-on items or electronics. Certain factors like traveling to high-risk destinations or booking a last-minute flight can trigger this. While it might delay you, it's all for your safety. Waste in the airplane bathroom. Ever wondered what happens to waste after you flush the toilet on a plane? Modern aircraft use a vacuum toilet system that requires little water and relies on strong suction to move waste into sealed storage tanks. These tanks are treated with disinfectants to break down waste, control odors, and maintain hygiene. When the plane lands, ground crews empty the tanks and dispose of the waste. Sometimes, though, blue ice can form when waste leaks from the system at high altitudes and freezes. This frozen mixture can fall to the ground when the plane reaches warmer temperatures. Although rare, there have been reported cases of blue ice incidents, 27 cases in 2017 alone. In one instance, a man found a large chunk of blue ice in his backyard and thought it was a meteorite. So while it might look like ice, don't be tempted to taste it. It's definitely not ice cream. The food isn't what you expect. Airplane meals often fall short of expectations, and there's a scientific explanation behind this. Most meals are prepared 12 to 72 hours before the flight, frozen and then reheated on board. High altitudes with their low pressure and dry air make cooking difficult. The cabin's humidity is lower than that of the Sahara Desert, which dulls your sense of taste and smell. Sweetness is reduced by 15 to 20%, and saltiness by 20 to 30%. So airlines often compensate by adding extra salt and sugar to boost flavor, leading to higher calorie counts. Engine noise also affects taste perception, but noise-canceling headphones might help. For safety reasons, pilots always eat different meals to minimize the risk of both getting food poisoning. The captain usually receives first-class meals, while the first officer gets business-class meals. While it might not be the gourmet dining experience you hoped for, preparing safe and edible meals at 30,000 feet is quite an impressive feat. Cabin lights serve a specific purpose. If you've noticed the cabin lights dimming during takeoff and landing, you may have wondered why. There are two key reasons for this. First, it's a safety measure. If the lights were bright and suddenly switched to dark during an emergency, passengers would need precious seconds for their eyes to adjust. By dimming the lights beforehand, your eyes are already prepared, making it easier to spot emergency exits. Second, it serves a mood-boosting purpose. Dim lighting is more calming and can help ease the anxiety of passengers, particularly those nervous about flying. Some airlines, like JetBlue Airways, go further by incorporating color-changing mood lighting, like a calming blue hue, to create a relaxed atmosphere throughout the cabin. What do you think about this? Share your thoughts with us. Be careful when sharing your boarding pass on social media. It might seem innocent to share your boarding pass on social media, but it could expose a lot of personal information. The barcode or QR code on your boarding pass can reveal sensitive data such as your name, passport number, travel history, emergency contacts, and sometimes even credit card details. Scammers can use online tools to decode this information, putting you at risk for identity theft or fraud. There have been cases where scammers made calls using details from shared boarding passes, including the last 4 digits of a credit card number. To stay safe, avoid posting your boarding pass online. If you store your pass electronically, make sure it's kept securely in airline apps. For physical boarding passes, shred them before disposing of them. A 2024 IATA report found that 10% of passengers unknowingly share their boarding passes, increasing the risk of fraud. Protect your privacy. It's more important than a quick social media post. Yellow hooks on the wings. If the plane ever had to make an emergency water landing, you'll be glad for those small yellow hooks on the wings. The number and placement of these hooks may vary depending on the aircraft, but they all serve an important purpose: to help passengers safely evacuate the plane. These hooks are anchors for ropes that passengers can use to balance themselves and cross the wings, especially in the case of a water landing. The ropes can also be used to secure life rafts to the aircraft, preventing them from drifting away once passengers board them. Red triangles in the cabin. Have you ever noticed the red or black triangle markings inside the airplane? These aren't just random decorations. They serve an important purpose for the flight crew. Particularly in winter or icy conditions, these triangular markings indicate the best observation points for the crew to check the wings for ice or snow buildup. For photography lovers, the triangles also serve as markers for the best angles to snap great photos, such as the wing or the perfect horizon shot. If you're lucky enough to sit next to a window near one of these spots, you might capture photos that look straight out of a travel magazine. Now that you know their purpose, will you pay closer attention to these triangles on your next flight? Let us know what you think in the comments below. In-flight incidents. Flights can sometimes encounter challenging situations like hailstorms, lightning strikes, and bird strikes. For instance, a Delta flight from Milan to New York faced a severe hailstorm last July, which caused significant damage to the aircraft. Despite this, the plane managed to land safely. Lightning strikes, though uncommon, occur about once every 10,000 flight hours. Modern aircraft made from materials like aluminum or composites with added metal mesh are designed to safely channel lightning around the plane, ensuring passenger safety. Bird strikes are also a concern, causing about 11% of aviation incidents. Airports in suburban areas attract birds, especially near takeoff and landing. Although radar systems and wildlife management programs are in place to reduce these incidents, bird strikes still result in significant damage and flight delays. Secret handrail on the plane. Walking down the aisle of a moving airplane can be a tricky task, especially when there's turbulence. Many passengers hold onto their seats for balance, but this can be disruptive to others. Here's a secret. If you pay attention to the flight attendants, you'll notice they often reach up to the ceiling while walking down the aisle. That's because there's a hidden handrail along the underside of the overhead compartment, designed to help passengers maintain their balance more easily. Next time you're walking down the aisle, follow the flight attendant's lead and use this hidden handrail to avoid disturbing your fellow passengers. Airplanes are full of fascinating secrets, from hidden flight attendant rest areas to secret handrails in the cabin. These lesser-known features not only ensure safety but also make the flying experience more efficient and comfortable. So next time you're on a plane, keep an eye out for these interesting details and appreciate the complexity that goes into air travel. Thanks for joining us, and stay tuned for more surprising facts. Safe travels.